Just arrived at Lake Vesuvius. Rain's still coming down. I think you can see the lake kind of back here behind me. Parked at the boat dock. So when you come to Vesuvius, the only place you can overnight park is here at the boat dock on this end of the lake. But there's no fees, nothing to fill out. Just pull up and go. So I'm going to start hiking here and get a move on, and as we get going I'll kind of fill you in with what I'm planning to do and plans for the night. So here we are at the start of the trail. As I was just saying before, I'm at the boat dock. And when you get started here at Vesuvius, you got the trailhead. You can either go to the right or to the left. If you see here, you got this trail right up over my shoulder here. That'll take you, that's typically the way you would go, going clockwise around the trail. But for this trip, I've done that before, and I've done this backpacking trail before. So for this trip, I'm just going to be on the lakeshore trail, which just runs right along the edges of the lake. It's a little bit shorter, and I've never done it before, so I think it'll be nice just to hike alongside the lake all day. So I'm actually going to go the opposite direction here, and when you start out this way, they've got this really cool bridge like walkway along the water, and it goes for a long ways. So we're going to start walking here and get going. So I just got on the lakeshore trail, just hiking along right up on the edge. You can see down there the trail. It's just right on the edge of the lake, and I'm just going to follow that all the way down until it ends, and then I'll wrap around the other side. But already, I mean, just getting started, you can see how beautiful Vesuvius is. It's just an awesome trail. And it's perfect. Hardly anybody here. There was one other car in the parking lot. It's midweek, so I don't expect to see anyone else out here. Probably got maybe 4 miles of hiking today, if that. Not expecting to do too much. I really just wanted to get out and spend a night outside and relax, really. I've hiked this trail, they have a backpacking trail here, which is about 16 miles. And I've hiked that trail before, and it's great. Just wasn't planning to do it this trip. Or I'm not planning to do it on this trip. Just hanging out this time. I brought my fishing pole. It's February, so I mean, I don't know what luck I might have, but try to do some fishing tonight or maybe tomorrow. Just climbed up to the top of this big old rock outcropping. And this is, again, I'm still just getting started here, so this is a really nice spot. It would be great for camping, but if I understand the rules correctly, this is inside of what they call the recreation area of Lake Vesuvius, and you cannot overnight camp in the recreation area. After we hike a little farther, you get out of that, and then you're back into the national forest. Alright, so I've been hiking here for maybe 45 minutes or an hour, just kind of exploring and checking the place out. Like I said, I don't have a lot of miles to do today, so I'm really just taking my time and getting to check out some places that previously, when I've come and had more miles to do, I just haven't really gotten to explore as much. But I wanted to take this opportunity here to just kind of go over the map with you and let you guys know what I'm doing, so that if you ever decide to make a trip down to Lake Vesuvius, it'll all be right here for you. So let me swing this camera around and I'll show you what we're doing. Alright, so like I said, we're here at Lake Vesuvius, and I mentioned earlier that I'm hiking the lake trail rather than the backpacking trail. If you look at the map here, I got my handy Mora Classic here as my pointer. This is where we started, down at the boat dock, and that's the only place you can park your car overnight. So you park the car there, and as you see, the trail splits up here, either going clockwise or counterclockwise. This dashed line is your backpacking trail, and then the dotted line is the lakeshore trail. So for this trip, I really wanted to stick close to the lake, so I took the lake trail, and I'm going counterclockwise. So I walked down that bridge here, and then where the backpacking trail and the lakeshore trail split, I went left, taking the lakeshore trail, and I'm just working my way up along the lake. And then the plan is I'll keep hiking this trail, just exploring and having fun, and there's no time or mile mark that I'm trying to set here. It's just winging it. So I'm gonna hike the trail, staying on the lake trail until I reach the end of the lake here. And as you can see, the backpacking trail continues, and it does like another loop. So it's like a figure 8. But once I get to the end of the lake, there's a bunch of, you can probably see the little campsite signs. There's a bunch of campsites. It is a national forest, so you can camp anywhere. But I plan on looking for my spot there. If I want to keep hiking, I might start coming back down and look for a campsite. I haven't really decided. I also want to get some fishing in, which up here, the fishing's not that great. It gets pretty shallow and kind of swampy up towards the top end of the lake. But tomorrow, wherever I end up, I'm just going to come back down the other side of the lake on the lakeshore trail and make my way right back to the car. And that's the trip. Hopefully you can see back behind me, there's the public little beach area where in the summertime everyone goes and hangs out on the beach and swims. But that brings me to a important point about Lake Vesuvius and the trail system here. If you're coming out here to find peace and solitude, which I assume most of us are, I would not recommend coming to Lake Vesuvius on a summer weekend or a holiday weekend. It does get very busy here, and you get all the boats out on the water, and it's pretty loud. There's a couple of campgrounds, like public, tent sites all lined up next to each other, RVs, a couple of those campgrounds here. So in the summer on the weekends, it gets really full, just with people everywhere. So summer midweek you should be all right, but ideally you come here in the winter or late fall, early spring, like today, and you have the whole place to yourself. Really nice. Shoelaces came untied. These are where are these? These are a Danner boot. I don't remember the name, but I think it's some sort of number, 600 or something like that. They're nice. They're not the traditional Danner that you may be familiar with, like the kind of old school hiking boots they still make. Really awesome. Those are great. But these are more of a modern, I call them like a sneaker boot. Really soft, don't need any break-in. I usually wear trail runners, but in the winter I switch over to something like this, a really lightweight boot. It's got waterproofing, so when I'm hiking in the snow and everything, I don't have to worry about them getting wet. Not even really sure why I wore these instead of trail runners this trip, but I guess because it's February. I have it in my head that it's winter, but I'm sweating right now. It's about 60 degrees. 60 degrees. It's hot. It has been raining all day until just a little bit ago, so it is nice to have the waterproofing, although my feet are sweating, so I don't know, how much good that really does me here. But yeah, anyways, they're a good pair of boots. If they fit you right, I'd recommend them. They are a bit expensive though, being Danners, and they're imported, so I don't know if they're worth the expense necessarily. Although, like I said, the traditional Danners, the made in America ones that can be resold, those are nice boots. Really nice boots. I think it's the Danner Mountain Lights and the Danner Lights. There we go. Keep on hiking. As far as water goes at Lake Vesuvius, there's no water provided anywhere, no pumps or wells or anything. But you are hiking on a lake, so there's plenty of water. And if you're on the backpacking trail, there's enough feeder streams coming into the lake that you should be fine. Just bring some treatment. I've got the Sawyer mini filter here. Bring a soy or some chemicals or something like that, and you'll be perfectly all right. Maybe in the summer, if we go through a dry spell, it might get a little tough, but you've always got the lake to come grab water if you've got to as a last resort. All right, hopefully you can hear me over all these birds in the background here. They're going crazy, like just over there in the trees. But I've reached the end of the lake, so I've came to this area here where all the trails kind of intersect. Like I was saying earlier, it's the whole trail system kind of makes a big figure eight. So right now I'm right in the middle of that figure eight where they all intersect. And my plan here is I'm just going to kind of explore this area and see if I can't find a nice campsite for tonight. And if I do find a campsite, I'll just kind of take a mental note, and then I'm going to keep hiking further around the lake. So as you get to the far end of the lake, it gets very narrow and shallow, so it's no good for fishing or anything. And I'd like to hike back a little ways and hopefully find a nice spot to fish. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to catch anything, but just kill some time and just enjoy being outside. Just cast the line a few times and see what happens. So the system I've got here is called the Caldera cone. It's the ULC model, so it's one of the models that can fit inside your pot. I've got the Snow Peak 900 pot here, and I'm just getting ready to, I'm just heating up a little coffee with the alcohol stove. Just have a hot drink because I can. So just going to use about half a fluid ounce of alcohol. Dump it in using the Starlight stove. Get it in there. How this cone works, it's basically just a glorified windscreen. Get that stove going. It's a little hard to tell when and if you've got it lit. There we go. And I've just got a couple tent stakes in there. Oh, it's going. So then all you do is pot just slides right in there. And with the Caldera cone, it's a piece of titanium, and they make them custom for each pot. So you have to pick the right one for your pot, and because it's pot specific, the cone fits perfectly around the pot, and it's more efficient that way. So all that heat from that stove is being held in there. It's a really nice system. And then the benefit of this one here, being titanium, you see these holes, they got another set of holes up here at the top, but you move those tent stakes up and that'll lift up your pot, and then you can use this as a wood stove. So it's super versatile, and I think it weighs, the stove or the cone weighs 0.8 ounces. It's under an ounce. I think it's just about the most versatile and efficient setup you can get. But we'll give it a few minutes here while that coffee cooks, or the water boils, so I can make the coffee, and be back. Nalgene flask. It's the nicest flask, bottle, container that I've found to hold my fuel for my alcohol. Yeah, it's a little heavy, but can trust it. You know, it's never gonna leak on you. Being a Nalgene, it's a nice, really nice bottle. Got a rolling boil there. Time to brew the coffee. I've just got that instant crap, so it's nothing special, but it has caffeine and it does the trick. Oh yeah, that's hot. That's hot. Alright, so I just finished my lunch. Had coffee in that Pro Bar. Now I'm leaving my campsite, and I'm still taking all my stuff. I just don't feel comfortable leaving all my gear sitting back there, even though I don't think anyone's out here, just to be safe. And it doesn't weigh much. I don't mind carrying it. But so I'm leaving camp now, and I'm gonna go see if I can't find somewhere to throw in the reel and just fish for an hour or two. So I'll get back with you here shortly once I find somewhere to fish. Alright, so I left the campsite and I'm walking along the lake, kind of making my way back to the main section of the lake where I want to fish. And I see an area here. I was just kind of watching the water's edge as I was walking, and there's a lot of action in the water right here. So I'm just gonna start here, see what happens, and if I need to I can continue on. But I'm not even to the main part of the lake yet. I can just see a lot of movement in the water. So it looks like there's a group of fish feeding right here. Before I get started, I just wanted to show you my backpacking fishing setup here. Now, I'll preface this by saying I'm not a fishing expert. I do it completely for fun, and it's just something I like to do mainly when I'm backpacking, or in the summer sometimes I want to get outside, but you know, it's a little too hot to hike. So I'll just go fish. You know, I live in the city, so there's not a whole lot of hiking opportunities right around me, but there is a lot of fishing. So it's just something I do for fun. I'm no expert, and I'm always learning more. So my setup when I go backpacking, and honestly I use this even at home too. It's my only nice setup for fishing. I've got, what's it called? It's the Eagle Claw Trailmaster. And it's a 4-piece takedown pole setup. And since it's 4 pieces, you know, it's real small. I think, I don't know, something like 15 inches roughly, once you break it all down. So I just stick it right on the side of my pack in the water bottle pocket. So I take that, that's my pole. And then I have got a real small reel here. And it is the, if I can get it out, Shimano Sienna. So it's one of those like kind of micro reels. It's like, I want to say it's about $20 or $30, and the pole is about $50. All this fishing stuff here, it's under $100 for this setup. And it's super lightweight, it works great for backpacking. So yeah, Shimano Sienna reel, Eagle Claw Trailmaster pole. And then what I do is when I'm backpacking, I put all my fishing gear into this little fanny pack, a little Patagonia lightweight fanny pack. That way when I'm going fishing, I just strap this on, take my pole and go, and I can leave the campsite and go fish. So in the pouch I keep some hand sanitizer. Just after touching the fish and everything, you want to sanitize your hands. A Leatherman juice. Really like this. It's got the pliers just to help with getting the hooks out of the mouths of the fish. And it's got some scissors for cutting your line. Take that. And then I have of course my fishing license. Always have that on me. And then I've just got a small amount of hooks and lures. So I've got some what are these, Senko worms. Most of the fishing that I'm doing is bass fishing here in Ohio in the ponds and lakes. So some Senkos, that's the main thing I use almost probably 90% of the time, and I have good luck with those. But then along with that, I have this little tiny Plano box that goes into the fanny pack, and in there I've got, you know, a bobber in case sometimes I'll just dig up some earthworms and put them on a hook with a bobber and sinkers, just classic old school style. I got some bigger hooks for the Senko worms, and then I have a couple of these little Rapala lures, and these are fun. I'll usually, if I'm just getting somewhere, just starting to fish a spot, I'll put one of these Rapalas on and I'll just kind of cast it out and work it in kind of all around. And then once I get a bite or get a couple bites, then I might throw on the Senko worm and start really going for something bigger. And then other than that, in the Plano box, I've got, like I said, I've got a variety of little hooks, different size hooks, and some weights. And that's it. That's all I take with me, and that does me just fine for fishing while I'm backpacking. So now that I showed you that my little backpacking and fishing setup, I am gonna get the pole all set and see if we can't pull one of these fish in. I swear I see them like just right out here in the water. I can see them moving around, so let's see what happens here. So no luck to start, but I didn't have a very good access point here in this area. I just saw some movement in the water and said, you know what, I'm gonna throw in. So no luck here, but it looks like just up a little ways I'll have some better points of access on the lake. So I'm gonna move up ahead a little bit, and then I'll film a little fishing, and hopefully we have some luck. Well, I'm pretty excited. I just found, you know, as I was walking back towards where I came from this morning, I found a new campsite, so I don't have to walk back and backtrack anymore. And I'm right where the fishing seems to be getting better. So check this out and see if you can see what I got here. So I got this nice area here with a fire ring, but all around is water. So it's like this little island out in the lake. It's really, really cool. Just keep watching the water. And as I pull this out, I toss it right where I last saw some movement. Basically, I'm bringing it to them. Since it is winter, the fish are less active, and I wasn't sure. We've had such a mild winter, I wasn't sure what to expect. see one right out here. Right on him. Let's see. But they're moving, so seems like I'm in luck. I won't bore you with me reeling in and casting and reeling in and casting, but I'll be back if I get a bite. Well, caught a little one, first one, but I mean it's probably been about 3 minutes, so just getting started, I hope. I'm gonna get him off the line and keep going for some more. Hopefully there's some bigger guys in here. That was fast though. I'm just happy to have caught one. Might be small, but doesn't make any difference to me. I'm just looking to catch and release some fish and have some fun, and I'd say I'm doing that right now. I think I might have another little guy. Yep. Another little one. Show you this guy. Another small guy. Wow. Alright, get him back in quick. He's good. He's good. Alright. Well, that's a couple. Still, let's see if we can get something bigger. I know they're in there. I know they're in there. Alright, time's up for fishing for now. Let's go get camp set up. Alright, so here is the setup for the night. I got the bed all put together and the tent all set up. Got it facing out so you get a really nice view of the lake from the tent. Relatively flat ground, it pitched pretty nice. But it doesn't get any easier than the pyramids. Just the 4 corners and your door basically staked out, and that's it. Got it set up inside with a solo internet that you can use the net with or without the pyramid tarp. It's up to you. But I tend to just take it most of the time. It's only like 8 more ounces and just keeps you completely enclosed. Got a Z-Pax quilt in there. And this tent is it's the Mountain Laurel Designs Cuban Fiber Duomid. Alright, so I got the caldera cone going again, getting ready to cook dinner. But this time I'm using fire as or wood as my fuel rather than alcohol. Same stove, only have to bring this one stove, but I can use whatever fuel I like. That's what I really love about this thing. So I just filled it up with a bunch of twigs and small stuff, and I threw a cotton ball with Vaseline right on top and lit that, and that's all it really needed. It seems to be going pretty good. So I've got some thicker sticks here to kind of fuel it that I'm going to start throwing on there. as soon as the fuel's lit, you can just throw the pot right on there and let it start boiling the water. All right, it's starting to get pretty dark here. Now, as you can probably hear, the frogs are really out now. They're loud. They'll quiet down though once it gets a little later. They just get real active right at dusk. But yeah, I just finished cooking dinner, so I'm gonna eat that. I'm not gonna do a fire tonight. I had the little wood fire that I cooked over, but I'm not gonna do a fire. Just gonna eat dinner, kind of get ready and get situated for bed, and probably just hang out until I fall asleep. All right, well, it's about 8 o'clock. I'm in the tent, in bed, and I think it's time to go to sleep. Thanks again for joining me today and following my hike. It was a good time. Couldn't have asked for a better day. So I'm gonna go to bed and get a full night's rest. I always sleep better when I'm out in the woods, longer and better. So yeah, I'm gonna get a full, 10 hours probably. I'll see you in the morning, and we'll hike on out of here and head back home. Good night. Good morning. So I've been up for a few hours now, just making food and coffee, and then I've been fishing here for a little bit and haven't had any luck. Slept really well last night, got like almost 12 hours, so totally recharged. I'm just gonna finish kind of packing up camp, and then just gonna start hiking back. All right, let's start hiking again. I'm just walking back to the truck. Been walking for, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes. And I'm not really sure exactly how far I've got left, but it can't be more than like 2 miles or so. So it's nothing. Starting to rain a little bit, but I don't expect it to get much worse. And I'm almost done anyway, so it doesn't really matter. There's been nobody out here. The only people I saw one boat last night. They were fishing, and then I saw one boat this morning, a couple guys fishing. And that's it. That's all I've seen. All right, this is it. I'm walking right back up to the boat dock now. Gonna hop in the truck and head home. Hope you guys enjoyed this trip. I definitely had a good time. Already looking forward to getting out again. Thanks for watching.